Welcome back, dear viewers, and on this beautiful morning we're joined by a special guest honored with a doctorate degree in business administration and master of executive management, experienced environment sustainability, risk management and compliance consultant, specialized in artificial intelligence use, sustainability and production efficiency. Also awarded a distinction diploma in marine biology and ecology. So, dear viewers, let's all welcome Dr. Erik Wiebenholt, the Sustainability Executive Consultant. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you here on Good Morning Kuwait, and we'd love to know all about you and how many years you spent here in Kuwait.
It's a pleasure to be here, for sure. I've been here for 13 years, so living in Kuwait has been a part of my life, and I have seen a huge amount of progress. It's really a country that goes to the better.
Thank you so much for your beautiful words, Doctor. Really, Kuwait is your first and second home, and we are honored to have you here on Good Morning Kuwait, and we'd love to know all about water supply and how is it so important for Kuwait.
Well, water is the most magnificent, fantastic thing that we have on Earth. Without water, there's no Earth. Where there's no human, there's no plants. But the little thing about these molecules and the way that they can absorb everything and they can carry everything around, that's everything in your body.
Okay.
That's everything in the macro environment. You know how it's gathered together, it evaporates, it goes to the clouds, and it's rain, and we circle it around. Then think about this going on your body.
All right.
And this is where this water is magnificent, because all the things you need will be carried with water.
Yes, so water is really critical for the human body.
Yes, absolutely, and we have to take care of it, and this is where I can see the progress, the wonderful things that have been developed over the 10 years, 13 years I've been here.
Beautiful, and we want to know, Dr. Brian,
Yeah.
is water desalination the only source of water we can get here in Kuwait?
Well, it is 90% of our water source. We have few places where we have natural water, but
Yes.
that is still need to be treated to drinkable for humans. And this is where we need to kind of see what is it that we actually want and what is it that we can accept. But the requirement and the acceptance need to be going hand in hand.
All right, so can desalination provide clean water for us as a drinking water forever?
Well, not forever, and we have to be sure that even that we have the big sea out of us, the big sea is where we take our water for desalination. That need to be a good quality, otherwise desalination will work less. So we need to take care of our coastline as well.
Okay.
And this is where it all comes down, that the water that we take in is also the water we put out to our Kuwait Bay, to our Gulf Sea.
Okay.
And then we take it in again and use it again. So it's all circular.
That's pretty cool to know. And since desalination plants require a lot of energy or electricity, and how should it operate if the power goes off, for example?
Well, that will be where we need to mitigate. The thing in Kuwait, and we have more than one desalination plant, but it's a question about having small in located places that can give you clean water, and the big desalination in central places. So water management is a question about where we need to have it local produced and where we need to have bigger central production. That makes us less dependent on one source electricity at a time.
All right, hopefully nothing goes wrong with our beautiful water here in Kuwait. So Dr. Brian, we want to know, is there any alternative for water in Kuwait?
Well, alternative for water, there is no alternative for water. Water is unique.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that the water that we have is the water that we can also use. And in the future, it's seen around the world that you have a two-step cleaning system where we are actually taking the magnificent of Umar Heyman's development. That is now being an investment object. But that will means that the water that they produce will also be the water that we are actually using. So using for what? Using for drinking.
Yes.
And that will just require one little thing, two-step cleaning. Just like we have in the distillation, we know Aquafina, we know where we have the companies making the bottled water. They have reversed osmosis at the plant, and this is what we are drinking. So in the future, with the high quality of the cleaning plants, you actually just need to add the second cleaning. And that can be osmosis or even more efficient with diffused ozone filtration. Diffused osmosis filtration have the benefits less energy consumption and a higher cleaning in terms of how the water is cleaned afterwards.
All right, that's a lot of practical methods for sustainability towards
It is,
water.
but this is the way that we have to live in the country where we live.
Yes.
We are not Canada, we are not Denmark, and basically we need to adapt to what we are doing here in Kuwait.
Yes.
And this is simply just the way that we will make it sustainable for the next many decades.
Hopefully, inshallah. And we
Inshallah.
want to know more about wastewater. Can it be regenerated or recycled?
It absolutely can. It's when we look back in time, there was a perception, oh, we will not use our wastewater. But we have always done that.
Yes.
Today, and every time for a long time, our wastewater go to Kuwait Bay. What do we have in Kuwait Bay? We have Doha desalination plant. Where do they get the water from? It comes really from Kuwait Bay. So it's the same water that's circling around.
Yes.
So what we need to have to get people to understand that we don't need to put it to the sea before we take it in.
Okay.
We can clean it and double clean it. It will be just as clean as any water we have today.
All right. What about that, dear viewers? We have Dr. Brian here giving us all these beautiful information about water sustainability, really. And sorry, doctor, you're talking about water. I'm thirsty now. So with the recent rains happening here in our beautiful state of Kuwait, can we actually make use of this rainfall and save the water, for example?
Absolutely, yes. But financially, we have to think in how we can have basin of rainwater
Yes.
for 10 months without water and then use it for the 2 months we have water. But yes, it can. We cannot drink it directly. And that have, if we want to go in from the chemistry perspective, just as all the water carries all what we need in our body, it does also carry all the things we don't need in the raining system. So that means that we cannot drink raining water directly.
Yes.
But when we clean it, absolutely, this is a perfect source. And this month, yes, we could actually cover our need for water with rainwater. We just need to have another system where we can gather the water. And this is something in the future for investors to kind of say, how do we do that?
Hopefully this should be an investment, really, to invest in rainfall water and make it drinkable for our beautiful citizens here enjoying the rainfalls in Kuwait. So we want to know more, Doctor, about water and how can we conserve it here in Kuwait?
You see, that's one of the things where I will kind of saying, about 3-4 times a week I walk around the marina, and when I see a man with a hose watering the boat's roof
Yeah.
with water, that is produced water.
Yes.
We can do that better. When I go up the street, you see the man watering his car, saying he's cleaning it with an uncontrolled hose. That should not be that way. When you then see the good lady standing and water our pavement to make it dust-free, again we are wasting the water that is we have produced. And we need to kind of say, can we afford that? Can we actually have that in our water balance? But what are you doing yourself? In the morning, you take a shower. How many minutes? 10? 15? You could do it for 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
When you brush your teeth, you open the tap, rinsing the toothbrush, and then you put pasta on it and you put it in your mouth and you are brushing your teeth for 10 minutes. Did you remember to close the tap?
Yes.
So in that way, there's a number of things where we in our daily life really can preserve the water that we are using. And we should do that because we have to think in the energy that is used to produce that water that we just let out without any kind of use for it.
Yes.
And this is a question about the culture need to be thinking about what they're doing. And this is a culture of awareness, but I have not been that many countries where the awareness is not really, really high. But it's not awareness of exactly what we need to think when we are thinking preserving water.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Brian, for also spreading awareness to us and our dear viewers about water conservation. And we really want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Kuwait today.
Thank you so much.
So, dear viewers, let's all thank the coming of Dr. Brian Erik Wiebenholt, a sustainability executive consultant here in our beautiful state of Kuwait. And therefore, we shall take this short break and we'll be right back.